Coming up on this holiday edition of Now, we're back in Fryeburg to learn more about that missing boater and the 2 officers injured while responding to that call. Plus, we're looking at a class that is working to battle that volunteer shortage of firefighters, how that works, and the real meaning behind Memorial Day. We're getting your comments. This is News Center Now. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Hill. Lee Goldberg is off on this Memorial Day. We do have a lot to get to tonight, including your tributes for Memorial Day, but we will start first with the developing situation in Fryeburg. Now, here are the details that we know tonight. Several people were pitched into the Saco River Saturday night. One woman is missing now, and a police officer is in critical condition. Jennifer Bousquet from South Berwick was canoeing with 2 friends. Their boats capsized and they were swept up in the current. A police boat went out onto the water to save them, but the boat hit something near shore. The 2 officers were thrown overboard. Bousquet is still missing, while one of those officers fights for his life at Central Maine Medical Center. And that is where Chris Costa is tonight in Lewiston. Chris, we're hearing at least one of the officers injured was released today.
Yeah, Amanda, that's right. 51-year-old Dale Stout, who's an officer with the Fryeburg Police Department, out of the hospital tonight, released earlier today, according to his chief. Hospital staff reported that earlier today he was in good condition. Now, as for the other officer, Nathan Desjardins, hospital staff and the chief say that he is still in critical condition tonight. Desjardins' family said yesterday that he suffered severe head trauma during this incident. Hospital staff told us today that another officer from the Fryeburg Police Department was here today visiting Desjardins along with numerous other friends and family. Fryeburg Police Chief Joshua Potvin said they are glad that Stout is out of the hospital, but they're still thinking quite a bit about Desjardins. Desjardins' family did not want to speak tonight, which is understandable given the very difficult situation they're facing.
Now, Chris, before we let you go, Dale Stout, who was released today, was working for the Fryeburg Police Department at the time of that accident, but he's also connected to the first responder community in Biddeford.
Yeah, Amanda, that's right. Dale Stout is a 11-year veteran of the Biddeford Police Department, working as a firefighter and paramedic, according to a lieutenant who I spoke to yesterday. Now, I spoke to another firefighter today who said they had a video call with Dale while he was here at the hospital because today is Dale's normal shift. Chief Scott Gagne wrote in a statement earlier today that the peer support team has been working with Dale and his family. He said that Dale is a valued career member of this department and that tonight their thoughts are with the Desjardins family.
All right, Chris, thank you. Meanwhile, Officers Stout and Desjardins were rescued from the river thanks to the quick actions of some good Samaritans. Christina Rex is in Fryeburg tonight. And Christina, one of those Samaritans spoke about his tough decision in the water.
Yeah, Amanda, Paul Hall of Saco was on one of his regular fishing trips with a buddy when they heard the crash behind them. He and his friend made every effort to row to the crash as fast as they could, and when they got there, they tried to help Officers Stout and Desjardins as best they could. He says it was hectic and emotional, and now it's something that he can't get off his mind.
The impact alone was enough to trigger me, and then when I heard the scream for help, you know when somebody is just having a little bit of a tough time or when somebody's in fear for their life. Especially hearing him talk about going home to see his wife and kids. So on top of trying to help them, the only thing I could think too was I can't flip my boat, I can't go in the water. I got to make it home and see my family.
And as far as the search goes, this is the area where wardens have been searching. The final boat just came in for the night. There are still some divers out there, still no sign of Jennifer Bousquet, but wardens say they will be back tomorrow morning, Amanda.
Christina, considering what happened Saturday, are rescue crews taking extra precautions now?
They actually are because they said the water is so high and so cold and moving so quickly. That could have played a factor in some of the incidents in the first place. But because of that, some divers can't go in some certain areas. So the warden said they're doing everything they can to make sure their divers are safe in this situation. And just an update, they still don't know exactly what that police boat hit during that crash, Amanda.
All right, Christina Rex in Freiburg, thank you. A dreary and drizzly day for Memorial Day plans today. Jess Conley is in for Keith tonight with a first look at the forecast. Hey, Jess.
Hey, yeah, we had a pretty nice weekend, though. Lots of sun out there both Saturday and Sunday for most of us, but today, not as nice. We had some drizzle around, especially at the coast, and you can see now we're starting to see that rain just about cross the border from New Hampshire into Maine. We will see a period of some scattered showers overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning, and then we'll see things calm down a little bit. You can see as we zoom out, not a lot in the way of rain for tonight, but we have some more rain chances, it looks like, as we go through the rest of the week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The other thing today, temperatures weren't that impressive. We made it though to 59 in Bangor, not too bad. You'll notice central and northern Maine did okay as far as the temperatures go. Far southern Maine though definitely stayed on the cool side. Our high today in Portland, only 49 degrees, so it was definitely chilly out there, and we have cooled off a little bit. 46 now in Portland, 56 currently in Bangor. Millinocket, you're at 57, and Lewiston now at 51. So it does look like it's going to be a fairly chilly night. The other thing today, we were dealing with just a little bit of wind at some points, plus the drizzle, plus the fog. It looks like we'll kind of see a repeat of that tomorrow at the coast, but it does look like some sunshine's on the way eventually, Amanda, so things will brighten up soon. Amanda?
All right, we'll see you in a bit, Jess. Thanks. Most Memorial Day events continued through the rain. This was the crowd in Biddeford this morning. Local groups and first responders marched to honor fallen service members and drum up some patriotic spirit. And it's a day we remember the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. This year, a Mainer was killed in action in Somalia. Kyle Milliken grew up in Falmouth. He graduated from Cheverus High School. He went to the University of Connecticut, where he ran track. Milliken joined the Navy in 2002 and quickly entered the SEALs. Earlier this month, while on a mission in Somalia, Milliken's team was attacked. He was killed. 2 other SEALs were wounded. He is the first U.S. service member killed in action in Somalia since 1993, when 2 Black Hawk helicopters were shot down and 18 American soldiers were killed. The Falmouth Police Department says Milliken's family planned to bury him at Arlington National Cemetery. Millions of Americans travel this weekend. Even though most travel by car, airports definitely see larger crowds during the holiday. This weekend, officials announced that airport security may actually get tougher. The Department of Homeland Security says they're considering banning large electronic devices from all foreign flights. Electronics larger than a cell phone are already outlawed from U.S. flights to and from 10 airports in the Middle East and Africa. Officials say they are concerned about hidden explosives. Yesterday, the Secretary of Homeland Security said they're considering expanding that ban to more international flights. So we asked you, if tablets and laptops were banned from the plane, how would you pass the time? Most of you said you'd go old school. Harvey says nothing beats a good book. Meanwhile, Jeremiah said he will stare out the vastness if I'm lucky enough to have a window seat. Then there's Brian, who seems much more upset about missing the Sky Mall magazine than a possible electronics ban. But Laura says on such a long flight, electronics allow you to get stuff done. She says at least if you have your laptop, you can be productive, work, photo editing, etc. Jill agrees. She says she isn't sure how corporate people will deal with it on work-related trips. And then there is Sarah, whose answer was simply booze. Coming up on Now, meet the young faces of the fire service.
How old were you when you started Greenwood?
I was like just turning 17, I believe.
In response to a volunteer shortage throughout the country, we're looking at tech schools in Maine and how they get high schoolers in training fast. And as we head to break, take a look at your Memorial Day messages shared on our Facebook pages.
My son struggled in school, didn't seem to care about his grades or how he was doing, because I know of some kids, the traditional high school setting is just not for them.
Dennis Burr says his son now is doing well in college, but there was a point he didn't think he'd even graduate from high school. That was until he started taking fire science at Region 9. It's one of many technical education schools in the state that offers on-the-job training to high school students. That early training is how a lot of departments are hoping to spark an interest in firefighting before life gets too busy. Now, last Monday, during a special tribute to first responders, we talked about some staggering numbers when it comes to the fire service. 70% of firefighters in the U.S. are volunteers. Meanwhile, the number of people willing to work for their community in that capacity hit a 30-year low in 2011. So we took a trip to Region 9 in Mexico to find out how these career technical education schools are creating the next generation of volunteers, starting as young as 15 years old.
This is a training in a controlled setting. It's something we've seen before. But these firefighters are just teenagers.
I'm currently in Telstar High School. This is my last year here.
Maggie Bergeron was hired on the Greenwood Fire Department at just 17 years old. In a few weeks, she'll graduate from high school and Region 9 School of Applied Technology, where her work in fire science has already put her ahead.
11 of them have very similar programs. We're now down to 9 for fire science.
Bergeron is one of just a few in the program this semester.
I joke about this. I say we're an endangered species, but we're headed toward extinction because our enrollments are so low.
Fire instructor John Longley says most people have no idea these technical classes even exist, nor how much training they come with. But as they continue to lose students, it's more critical than ever to spread the word.
I think every fire department in the state struggles with recruitment and retention of volunteers, and it's a multifaceted approach to try to solve that. And one of those approaches certainly has to be trying to get young folks engaged very early.
Just down the road, Rumford Fire Chief Robert Chase has hired a graduate of Region 9.
I started on Proof Firefighter, Proof Fire when I was 15. So that was a nice exposure to it. So we were able to do more live burns and see more of that, get exposed to extrication.
Most of my graduates that go on to the schools have their first semester taken care of.
A major incentive to start young and join a career of public service, but it has to start with that spark.
I love helping people on their worst days.
To find a career and technical education school near you, just head to the Now section of our website and click on this story. The Department of Education has a whole list. Still ahead, full forecast. Plus,
the only time that I ever felt the true honor and respect was like at nighttime, when it's like there's nobody out there and America's sleeping, but you get, you know, a sliver in the night to guard the unknown soldiers when nobody else is around and America's entrusting you.
he was serving in one of the most honorable positions in the U.S. military, though his strength would be tested not by his service, but by his health. That's ahead on this Memorial Day edition of Now. For the first time, as President of the United States, Donald Trump laid a wreath at the Tomb of the Unknowns at Arlington National Cemetery. It's a Memorial Day tradition to honor those in the armed forces who've lost their lives. Today, millions watched as the nation honored the unknown soldiers buried there. But even when the nation is not looking, there are chosen men and women who guard the tombs, rain or shine, night and day. It's a prestigious assignment, one that requires a lot of dedication and mental strength. One of those chosen service members had his strength tested when he was diagnosed with an extremely rare disease. Here is his story.
It's emotional, and it was always emotional.
Sentinel Andy Selga was living his dream. 21 steps at a time.
It just like pumped me up, and I was like, all right, I get to go guard the unknown soldiers today for an entire 26-hour period. Like, cool.
He served as a tomb guard.
That's really when it's like, whew, like this is way bigger than anything I've ever done in my life.
The number 21 is a symbolic nod to the 21-gun salute, our nation's highest honor.
To me, the only time that I ever felt the true honor and respect was like at nighttime, when it's like there's nobody out there and America's sleeping, but you get, you know, a sliver in the night to guard the unknown soldiers when nobody else is around and America's entrusting you to like be there.
Tomb guards march 21 steps down the mat, turn, and face east for 21 seconds. They turn again and face north for 21 seconds. Then they take 21 more steps down the mat before repeating the process.
I think about that, 24/7.
It is haunting that Selga was 21 when doctors at Walter Reed brought him in for emergency surgery. They raced to find answers to his relentless abdominal pain that came on suddenly while he was walking the mat.
Almost as if somebody just took a knife and drove it into my stomach.
His diagnosis was devastating.
After the surgery, I wake up and they're telling me I have eosinophilic vasculitis.
The condition is so rare that only 2 of every 1 million people in the world are diagnosed with it each year. The disease causes an inflammation of the blood vessels. There is no cure.
I sit back at the end of the day like, why me? Like, what did I do? They asked me the whole question, well, is any of this stuff in your family? No. Anywhere in your family? No.
This rare form of vasculitis is often deadly.
I got a crash course in adulthood, marriage, and caregiving all at once at the age of 17.
Selga's found strength in his wife, Emily. High school sweethearts. The newlyweds tied the knot when Emily was just 17 years old. He was 20.
Marriage is till death. Like, he's my best friend. I'm gonna be here till the end. We got the sickness part done, sickness and in health. I'm really hoping health comes soon.
Despite the constant pain, it's impossible to find a photograph of Selga where he isn't smiling.
We're making the best of it.
The couple was even tossed out of an emergency room once for uncontrollable giggling. And with Emily's steadfast support, he's transitioned from a wheelchair to a cane and is now able to walk again on his own.
I still wake up feeling just like somebody hit me with a bat on the inside.
But he's responding well to treatment.
They expect me to live.
Selga is fighting this disease with the same discipline and energy he mustered to protect the tomb. 21 steps at a time.
Former Sentinel Andy Selga will never be able to walk the mat again. He was forced to leave the military because of his illness, but he is pursuing a new passion. He recently started an internship at the NASA Goddard Space Center. While we remember the fallen today, we also remember former President John F. Kennedy. Today would have been his 100th birthday. Presidential historian Michael Beschloss shared this photo of JFK visiting the Tomb of the Unknowns on Memorial Day during his presidency back in 1963. So happy birthday. What a big day.
Yes.
Kind of gross out.
I know,
today.
it is kind of gross out, especially in southern Maine. Just not nice. It was cold too. So northern Maine got at least some sunshine, but temperatures, we didn't warm up. We didn't even make it out of the 40s.
Yeah, it was cold. Our assignment guy is wearing shorts today, and I'm like, really? It's 40 degrees out.
Yeah.
I get it's Maine, but
no, it's 46 right now actually in Portland, definitely on the cool side, and we actually didn't make it out of the 40s. In Portland, 49 was our high today. Farther north, central Maine and northern Maine made it into the mid 50s, but we're still well below normal for this time of year. Usually we're in the mid 60s, low to mid 60s, so we didn't do very well as far as the temperatures went today. We actually are going to stay on the fairly cool side for the next couple of days, but then a big warm up. There are some 70s in the 7-day forecast, so definitely some good news there. You can see this line here of some showers. That's going to move through as we go through tonight. Finally, kind of just starting to make it into far parts of western Maine. We're kind of waiting on this one, but it'll continue to push to the north and east as we go through tonight. It's going to be moving through fairly quickly. I can show you here in the hour-by-hour forecast. Around 8 o'clock, Lewiston, you're seeing some rain showers, same for Portland. Then as we go through overnight, you can see they actually dry up a little bit as they head farther to the north and east. Waking up tomorrow morning to cloudy skies yet again, not looking great for the day. Tomorrow should stay pretty gray, really going throughout the entire day. Only exception will be far down East Maine. Could see a couple of breaks of sunshine, but look at the temperatures at noon tomorrow. Again, we're only in the low to mid 50s for most of us, so it's just not going to warm up. Maybe breaking 60 degrees in the Bangor area. Then as we go into the day on Wednesday, that's when we have a better chance of seeing more in the way of showers, possibly even a thunderstorm once we get into Wednesday night. and into the day on Thursday. Temperatures though, again by Wednesday morning, just going to have a tough time warming up throughout the day on Wednesday. But after that, I promise it's going to get better. Here's a look at the rainfall totals through Wednesday night. So you'll notice we will see kind of some gray, dreary conditions, but not a lot in the way of rainfall totals, only around about 1/4 of an inch. So not too bad as far as that goes. Here's your marine forecast for tomorrow. Seas around 2 to 4 feet, winds from the southeast about 5 to 10 knots. In the morning, we'll be dealing with fog and drizzle, so that visibility definitely could be under 1/4 of a nautical mile at times, so just be careful with that. Here's a look at your extended forecast again tomorrow and Wednesday. Some showers and storms possible. Those temperatures still only in the upper 50s and lower 60s. As we get into the end of the week though, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, temperatures will definitely start to warm up. Another chance for rain for the day on Saturday. Let me step out of the way here. Sunday though is looking pretty good. We'll see some sunshine for Sunday into next Monday. It looks like the rain will return. Pretty much the same thing at the coast. Some showers for Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, a chance for some isolated showers, but much warmer, at least as we head into the end of the week and into the weekend. Amanda?
Just more of the same. All right. Rob is here with a preview of what's coming up at 5:30.
These are some of the stories that we're going to be telling you about. Memorial Day weekend is, of course, the unofficial start to the summer tourist season here in Maine. Businesses that are in the tourism industry say all the indicators look pretty promising. We'll tell you why they're encouraged about how the summer is shaping up. Also coming up at 5:30, we remember fallen service members on this Memorial Day. And you'll meet one musician for whom every day is a day to remember. And we've got the latest on a domestic dispute that escalated to a shooting that involved a police officer. This happened in Arundel. We'll bring you the latest details, those stories and more, all ahead at 5:30.
All right, thanks, Rob. More now, next. All right, so Keith clearly isn't here to do his daily brain drops segment. We've got the lovely Jess Conley, though, and me. So we're going to drop some knowledge on you tonight, because there are a lot of things that people just don't really know about Memorial Day. Wasn't always known as Memorial Day, fun fact. At first it was called Decoration Day. Did you know that, Jess?
Did not know that. What about you?
I actually didn't either. Yeah. And it began as a way to honor military personnel who died during the Civil War, the deadliest war in American history. Okay. The first Decoration Day ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery was held in 1868, although communities across the country recognized May 30th as Memorial Day for decades. Congress established Memorial Day as the final Monday in May in 1971. So now that date changes, obviously, every year.
Yeah, that's the one I did know. May
That
30th?
is the one. Oh.
That's my birthday, so I knew that little fun fact.
Okay, you always know what's going on in your birthday. That's a
true,
huge thing.
true.
That legislation also made Memorial Day a federal holiday. Fun facts. So drop in some knowledge here.
Yeah, we got some pretty good facts.
On Memorial Day. And of course, we all know what it really means. It's to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. So to those families out there, thank you. And News Center at 5:30 starts right now.